Beat Rally, you and your team are in charge of the wonderful rally stage that's outside. So tell us what we can expect the next couple of days.
Yeah, for my sins, this is probably my 20th year, I think now. I think it is the 20th year this year of being involved with the outside rally display, and it's come on a lot from the early days of half a dozen cars just running around the perimeter of the venue with massive walks to get to it, and it seems to have grown to the point where it's nearly touching and banging doors with the main hall now. So yeah, we've lots happening. Great entry again. I think we've 110 cars. I think with the odd retirement already before they get there. But yeah, so the weather's been a little bit worrying.
Yeah, just a little.
As it does, but that wouldn't be race retro if it wasn't in a position where.
So, how many Group B rally cars will we see?
Well, under the guise of Group B,
we've
probably, I think there's 13 or 14, I think, in the group. But there's things that have been homologated into Group B, sort of like the Manta 400 and that sort of car. So true Group B cars, we've got Dave Kedwood coming in his beautiful 205 T16.
Oh, that's nice.
James in his RS 200, both very original cars, both factory cars in the day. So yeah, so some nice equipment, Quattros.
Yeah.
We've got young John Armstrong driving a Group B Quattro as well. Keeps clipping on there. So yeah, we've got magnetic. Yeah. So we've got John driving a Quattro that's been brought by Steve Gallagher, who's also driving it as well. The owner of it. So that'll be interesting. He has driven it before, so he has been tested in that car. So that'll be very interesting from a World Rally Car Puma to an old Group B Quattro. So I'm quite intrigued to see how that goes off the line tomorrow morning.
It's not a competition, but these are competitors after all. How do you keep them under control?
Well, that's difficult. That is difficult. Yeah.
It's probably your hardest job.
You can never take the competitiveness out of a driver, and when the red mist starts, that's when it goes wrong. There's lots of telling off.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of threats in drivers' briefings. But I have to be honest, they're all good as gold.
Yeah.
They are good as gold. Most of these people have been coming for years. The reputation goes on and on and on from the event,
Sure.
and everybody understands. The last thing, and what happens is that if somebody spins off, if there's an incident, if things get delayed, then that just delays the actual group time, session time.
Right.
So everybody loses out. So you don't want to be the one that creates that delay. So maybe that's the element of why.
There you go.
They behave themselves.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I don't have to tell many people off. That's a good thing. They are good.
That's good. Now, folks can actually go out there and get a ride, can't they?
Yeah, they can. That's
Where do you sign up for that? Over at your
yeah.
stand?
So in the rally we don't pre-book them. The way the system works is purely on the good nature of the entrants themselves. So they give the rides, and they get a contribution towards that. We take care of all the actual strapping in and the crash helmets, the safety elements. So we take care of all that, and yeah, it's a fabulous experience to be able to come not only watching rally cars, but then be able to have a passenger ride in one as well. And it's the same stage. Where we do have a slightly different stage in the fact it's a rally stage, but it's the same environment.
Sure, yeah.
And there's no difference. It's not like you know it's an inferior stage.
No.
It's still a very, very interesting stage. So, and most of the entrants in between the group session times want to be on that stage anyway because they feel it's maybe a
for them to get more seat time.
Absolutely,
That's right.
yeah.
Somebody in the past.
Yeah, so you just go up to the Rally Ride Huts, which is basically the first building you come to when you hit the rally stage. See one of the ladies there behind the counter. As long as you're over 135 centimetres, I think it is, and you fit in the seat, and you've no serious medical conditions, then you're in.
There you go.
and you're in, and you're going for the thrill of a lifetime.
I will tell you, folks, it is definitely, if you've never done it, a ride in a Group B rally car, a ride in any rally car with a proper driver is something to not be missed. So I would highly recommend that. So Group B, it's always been one of my favorite subjects. It's when I had my brief competitive career, it was during that time. But as a racing journalist, I got to cover the entire entity of Group B, and to me, there's a bit of nostalgia because the cars back then didn't all look the same like they do now. They were certainly unbelievably fast, and the crowds were unbelievable. It was probably the most halcyon days of the sport, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and it's interesting to really see now that the new regulations with Rally 1 cars, we're almost back at Group B again.
That's what they're trying, isn't it?
We're almost
kinda what
back at Group
it
B.
kind of smells that way.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a double-edged sword there, isn't it? To be honest, it'd be lovely to get the spectators and the people back into watching World Rally cars again, a World Rally Championship again. But then, does that just mean that we're back to Group B again and things go full circle and we're back again?
Yeah.
But the cars are certainly as fast as they used to be.
They certainly are.
And
anybody that says they aren't hasn't seen a modern rally car or the skills of the modern, the Elvin Evanses of the world.
And they certainly
really
go around. They certainly go.
on
Yeah,
fire.
they go around corners a lot faster. They stop a lot faster.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to be careful not to really say that they're probably easier to drive, but
Well, they probably are.
yeah, probably are. And you certainly had to be a brave man or lady to
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
I've had the privilege of driving a few Group B cars in my day, and one of them was a Metro 6R4, an ex-factory car, and well, that was certainly agricultural.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
exactly.
you had to be brave to drive one of them. So
Yeah. Earlier, we were talking about Michelle Mouton on our Quarters of Power, and she called the Abarth, the Fiat 131, a truck to drive. But she loved the Quattro. She took to the Quattro and actually felt that was fairly easy to drive. But across the board, whether you talk to Wolf Rorro or Ari Vatanen or any of those stars of that day, well, just look at the way Marco Elaine would look when he got out of a 037. Totally knackered. And it's those cars were very difficult to drive.
they were very difficult and very demanding, and the rallies were completely different as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
they were endurance rallies.
They
There
were.
were massive rallies and 5 days, and that is the change in rallying. But you have to move with the times, don't you? And
You do.
and you can't. The whole thing won't stand those sort of times and days and driving for all those hours, like the old RAC. You can't do that anymore. I mean, one of the good things that they do at the moment is the Roger Albert Clark rally, which replicates really the old RACs of all,
Yeah.
and and that's fantastic. And that is absolutely oversubscribed like you wouldn't
Right.
believe. For 5 days. During the night in the forest, driving from one end of the country to the other, so people are still passionate about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You still want it, and people save up, and the budget for that rally is just massive.
Yeah.
Some of the stories from friends that have done that rally, it's just massive. It's mind blowing. It's like house prices just to actually do the event. It's crazy, but what a gig to do.
Yeah. The first RAC I covered was in 1984, and over the entire time of the rally, I think I got maybe 2.5, 3 hours sleep in a little town in Wales called Dolgethy.
Yeah.
And so the whole sport has changed over. The new rules are interesting in that they're taking everything that is currently there and just scrapping it. and that's other than Rally 2, because
Yeah.
they're going to try to make these cars and Rally 2 cars closer together, and limiting to the 1.6 liter turbo engine. Most everything else is free, so within reason. And they've gone back to something that if you're not familiar with American racing, we've been doing for years, and that's two-frame. You know, the American Trans Am series. To America, a lot of what happens in GT racing in Europe is very foreign, because you take the actual chassis and strip it down and turn it into a race car. Where in America, they build a race car, take the actual bodywork and slap it on the race car. So it's a whole different concept, and these new rally rules are headed in that direction.
Yeah, they are. From what I've seen, I'm not particularly au fait with them, but from what I've seen about them, that's the way they're going.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, my opinion, but we should have just stuck to Rally 2 cars.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where you go with that.
Right.
But from an element of actually encouraging manufacturers to come in to make it as cheap as they possibly can, maybe the new rules will address that.
Yeah.
And make it cheap enough for manufacturers to come in and make it sensible to do that. But at least the cars now, from a Rally 2 point of view, are car derivative manufacturers and derivatives, where I think the route they're going down is obviously it's just they're all the same car.
Yeah.
They're predominantly all the same car, and but maybe that's the world of motor manufacturers already. I was talking to somebody who was running a seminar. And based in the hotel that we're staying in this weekend, and they said they were running a seminar and they were having different manufacturers every day, and I couldn't get my head around that. I went, how do you teach a seminar to half a dozen different manufacturers on every other day?
Yeah.
They went, it's all the same car.
Yeah.
It's all the same car. It's we just have a different pop-up with different badges on it.
Right, yeah.
Just the same car. The workings of it are exactly the same.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And I think part of this is part and parcel, because you see it a bit in Formula One. When you take a set of parameters and you put those parameters into a computer, and the computer designs it, your computer and my computer are going to come up with the same design, whether it's got a Ford badge on it or a Hyundai badge on it. So CAD's going to give you what CAD's going to give you. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Do you have a back to the real subject here, Group B? Is there a car that you kind of always thought, that's the knees, the bee's knees. That's the one I want.
Well, strangely, it's not really.
You drove the MG, so.
Yeah, I did. Strangely, it wouldn't really be a Group B car, so I was always passionate with Opel and Vauxhall over the years.
Yes.
And one of my favourite car of all time is the Opel Ascona 400.
Absolutely outstanding.
You know, it was just a fabulous car, beautiful car. I owned a few Opel Asconas in its time. Unfortunately, never owned a 400. But yeah, fabulous car.
Over in your stand, you've got a couple really nice. You got a ex-Russell Brooks car over there.
Yeah. Well, that's the Manta, but same running gear principally and same thing. But fabulous car.
Yeah.
You know, the Manta era, the Opel and the Ascona and the Manta era were fabulous years, and they took a lot of titles and they won a lot of rallies.
They won a lot of rallies.
So yeah, very good. But so yeah, I would think, you know, no big aspirations to own an Audi Quattro or a Lancia S4 or something.
Yeah.
I'm not. I just don't know what I would do with it, but but I could see me driving an Opel Manta or an Opel Ascona for down the lanes and having a bit of fun in that.
Yeah, that's right. Little opposite lock.
Yeah.
Kick up some gravel.
Yeah, and again with some on the rally stage as well, so that's good. Yeah, that'd be good. It's good to watch, and we'll try and get them as many runs as they can. So
how many events do you do a year?
Not as many as we used to be honest. We're now into just 2 or 3 a year now. Yeah. So COVID really spoils a lot of things for everybody in the entertainment world.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's coming back. So the demonstration world's coming back now. There's a lot more demonstration events. Whether I've got the enthusiasm to actually keep pushing on with them, because there's a lot more organisations as well now. So, Race Retro, I'm passionate about Race Retro. We'll keep coming to Race Retro and doing that. We'll keep adding events on during the year, but to put into, it's probably 4 months' work goes into Race Retro as far as the actual organisation of it's concerned, and it takes time. It takes time, takes a lot of effort and a lot of commitment, and unless it's going to be your full-time employment, then you're just going from one event to another event to another event, and we are predominantly a motor club. I know it's a commercial entity, and we run it from a business point of view, but we've no aspirations to actually run it from one event to another event to another event. So we'll put something on during the year. We'll carry on doing that, bits and bats during the year, but nothing on the scale of Race Retro, because we like to keep that related to the event.
Right.
We like to keep that to the event, and so not much more than that really. So Race Retros, we're passionate about Race Retro. We built this, like I said, this is probably my 20th year, so I feel like we've built, on the back of other people's works, infamously Steve Davis and other people. We've built this event up, and we've made it to what it is today, and we're very pleased about that.
Now the Group B Rally Club, can anybody join that?
Yeah, the door's open to anybody with anything interesting, or historical interest, or anything interesting that you don't really see about anymore.
Right.
So it's not just Group B cars. We take everything from an original, sort of mini, if you will, with a lot of minis on the stage this year.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. I mean, fabulous to see so many minis on the start line. And, right up to current World Rally cars. If a World Rally car wanted to come, it will be acceptable. Because we try and portray the history.
There's going to be a lot of them available.
Well, there'll be a lot of them available, yeah. I'm not just sure it'll go the Group B way where they all ended up in the back of somebody's garage. But you never know. You never know.
I don't know if these cars create that kind of passion that those cars did. There was just something about the era and what the performance envelope. The performance envelope between 1981 and 1984 is astounding, isn't it?
Yeah.
The change.
Yeah, the change was phenomenal, wasn't it? It was such a knee-jerk change in what was the norm, and it's never really been the same since, other than coming up to the sort of Rally 1 cars now. So that jump from sort of what it was prior to that to get to suddenly these monsters that was always going to be, flame spitted monsters with bits of carbon fibre flying off them, and so yeah, it was. It had to be. If you were passionate about rallying, if you were passionate about anything, even if you weren't passionate about, if you were a petrol head in any way, and the biggest thing about people that come to the show or come and watch and our events now is they might just be young children. Some of them might just be like 20-year-olds, that sort of thing, coming, but they all remember Dad talking about Group B rallying. So albeit they might not really know about it, have never experienced it, and that's the good thing about coming to demonstrations like this. That you can see them driven in anger, and remember that's what Dad was talking about, or Mum as well. So
right.
So
could even be one of those milestone moments, the first time Dad was right about something.
I'm sure they wouldn't admit that.
So what's the timetable for the rest of the weekend for you?
So the stage starts 10 o'clock every morning. Starts off in group sessions, 1 through to 6, and we tend to start off with the oldest or the slowest.
Yeah.
But not necessarily probably the most entertaining. And then we build our way up through a rear wheel drive class, the Group B class, with a front wheel drive class, and then what we would call a sort of modern class really, which is a bit of a mishmash of modern cars really. But lovely era after Group B, really, which was sort of Group A,
Yeah,
and then early World Rally Cars, which was an amazing era,
Yeah,
to be honest,
it was.
as well.
It really was.
Not necessarily as spectacular, but a fabulous, and that's my happy time.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed those times in rallying, and certainly when we get up to the Formula 2 years as well, when there were front wheel drive Formula 2 things were just mind blowing for me. So
yeah, those if Group B hadn't been as spectacular and wild as it was,
Yeah.
probably we would look upon Group A as the
I think
as
so.
the great moment.
Yeah, I
because
think so,
those cars
definitely.
really were a lot of fun.
they were a lot of fun, and the good thing about that is that they built a lot more, so there's a lot more of them about. And
Yeah,
so, I
yes.
mean, we're just looking here.
Yeah.
There's the massive amounts, and you know, and even on that section of the entry list, there's lots of things like that, Lancias and Integrales, and so I like that class as well, to be honest. But
That's cool.
so and then we go on, and then we've even got the Comp Safari stuff at the back, which is something I introduced a few years ago.
You got any oddities?
Oh, they're just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So all that came about by a young chap. I'll call him a young chap, and I'll be very impressed with that. and Ryan came in a Evoque, and he said, "Any chance of like coming and driving around?" And I thought, "Where's that fit in? How does that work?" And I thought, "Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll run you as course car.
There you go.
We'll run you as course car. That's the slot, isn't it? That's the slot. That's where we can get away with that in the display. So we'll run you as course car." Well, this thing set off from the start line, and I thought, "What have I done?
Yeah.
What have I done?" This thing just set off and lifted the front wheels off the ground and set off down into the first bend, through the chicane. There's one wheel up there, there's another wheel up there, and it's doing all sorts of strange things. Every angle, I thought, this is going to be the biggest crash I've ever witnessed, and I'm responsible for it. Anyway,
This was my idea.
yeah, this is my idea, and this is where it all ends. You know, this is the end of my career. It's all over. And bless him, he I don't know. I mean, probably 6-7 years now, he's been involved in it, and over the last couple of years, I've got his mates involved in it, and we now have a bunch of 10, 11, 12 of them, and they come and they put on an amazing show at the back of the group sessions, and they're just mad.
Yeah.
They're just mad. You know, it cost me a fortune in air bales because they just, instead of, we put the air bales out, stop people cutting corners and stop them doing damage and stuff. These just go over them. You know, it's like, they just drive over them. It's like, oh God, that's another bale. You know, it's like, but yeah, great fun. And from a spectacle and a spectator point of view, that's what this show's about. It's about just putting on a display so everybody can enjoy it and watch it. And then, like I said, it doesn't always necessarily fit in, but as long as it makes people smile and laugh and they enjoy the spectacle, and that's all that matters. So, and as long as we can carry on doing things like that, we will carry on doing it. So.
Yeah, that's great. Do any of you have any questions for Tim or myself?
Oh.
You probably know those two guys. They're acting like you know them.
Do they? Well, you know what they're like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for your time. It was good to see you again. And
thank you.
To a successful 21st year, I guess.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's hope we can just keep the weather down a little bit,
That's right,
and then it makes it more interesting for spectators. I know.
Gravel, a little mud. That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
well,
all right.
everybody's
Just not too much.
they're an hardy bunch, aren't they?
That's
Spectators,
right.
they're an hardy bunch, and
Yeah.
we've tweaked the spectator areas to make it as dry as possible underfoot. So in theory, you shouldn't get too muddy up there. We've managed to put some matting down in the key areas as well. So
Good.
Hopefully we shouldn't be dragging too much mud back into the show afterwards. I hope.
Right.
So I didn't want a massive cleaning bill as well. So so hopefully it should be enjoyable.
Tim Foster, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Rally Group B.